We have six other names, people who have signed up. One person wants to talk about workload increase, and five want to talk about community quest. Okay, so we'll start with Jason Wong, student at Elementary School.
Good evening, Dr. Aizawa and Board of Education members. My name is Jason Wong, and I attend Ahui Manu School, and I'm in the 4th grade. I would like to read a petition signed by 131 Ahui Manu students. We, the undersigned students of Ahui Manu School, wish to support the school's efforts to maintain our current programs serviced by IRA positions. These programs include our tech, science, gifted and talented, reading club, and technology center. We ask that you support the Department of Education's proposed budget, which funds workload increases based on increased enrollment in our public schools. If the workload increase is not funded, then we will be seriously affected if cuts are made in school programs. We humbly ask for your assistance and support. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Thank you.
Do you have any more on your testimony?
Huh?
Does that complete your testimony?
You finished?
Are you finished? Okay. Just a minute. Jason, Dr. Fox has a question for you.
That was totally fantastic. And what I want to know is, are you really telling the truth? You said you're you're like 35 years old and just really short, right?
I'm in 4th grade and I'm 9 years old.
Governor, watch out. This is...
Mrs. Hoshino, do you have his testimony and the petition?
He probably typed it.
Okay, thank you.
He doesn't use a typewriter.
We'll now take the remainder of the petitioners, starting with Barbara Cabrera, followed by Leslie Stewart, Jean Tanaka, Sandy Montour, and Todd Hendricks.
Good evening. Governor Gaetano, Board of Education members, and all the guests that are here this evening. My name is Barbara Cabrera. I'm a home...
asked, but I wanted to ask a question concerning the bell schedule. I'll direct this. There's a period, I guess, on Thursdays where there's assembly tutorial, and that's a very unique thing. I haven't seen this much at many schools. Could you explain a little bit of what happened during that period from 129 to 219 on Thursdays?
That's something that we have in place presently. On Thursdays, the students either have an assembly at 129, that last period of the day, or if we don't have an assembly, then they go to tutorials. They go to classes where they need extra help in.
And do all the students go to these classes?
It varies.
Varies.
A lot of kids do go, especially as we get closer towards the end of the quarter, a lot of kids do go. And the teachers also have been told that they need to let the kids know that they can come back to their classes. And if the kids don't have a specific class to go to, then they're free to go to the library, or they stay in their 6th period class with that teacher.
I only ask that is because, are you counting that time of day towards your instructional time? And
We feel that it is instructional time because all of our assemblies are also meant to be instructional for the students.
okay, that's what I want to find out. Thank you.
Any further questions? None? Okay, thank you very much. We have heard. Now get back to this board motion.
No, I have a question
Oh,
for the
all?
of the committee.
Okay.
The board has passed a number of these waiver requests, and then once or twice it has failed to pass them. In my memory, I don't remember exactly why, but I believe in one case it was because it was a request that didn't contain compensatory additional minutes, and it may be a second time when there were just too many days requested. But mostly they're approved, sometimes they're not. How does the committee know, or how did the committee know in recommending, I guess first to the union and then to us, approval? How did the committee know the board's views or the board policy, whether this is on the approval side of the line, if there is a line? What guided the committee in representing the board as in favor of this?
We don't try to second guess the board, and we just, if the committee members are in favor of it, we are in favor of it, and then we bring it to the board and let the board determine whether or not they're going to approve it. That's the means that how all committees work. All committees are not dictated exactly what to spell out in policy and then bring it to the board for a stamp of approval. We work and we determine what we want to recommend to the board as a committee, and that's what the Committee on Collective Bargaining did. We look at each time this subject comes up of staff development days, we wonder, oh, is this going to pass or not, depending on how many board members are present, what kind of arguments people will come up with, depending on what mood they're in, and therefore we don't try to second guess them anymore. We just look at the merits of the exception request and pass it accordingly.
Thank you. That answers my question.
I echo the arguments that the discussion that Mr. Matsumoto has raised. I'm surprised each time that one of these come up that we continually pound away at this, but we offer no solution to a school as to how they're going to get themselves off the ground and do something. I would suggest that we should rethink some of our questions here and maybe get these things in advance and go and talk to the people at the school rather than do it at this late hour or late moment at the time the board is going to do this. This is all open, and you can. We get these things in advance. You can talk to the school about this. I suggest that we ought to do that. I suggest this much. In essence, and since we're talking about Waianae High School, This is a school that has brought a group of people, and they've answered our questions absolutely without hesitation, no reluctance, and laid it right on the table. They're trying to do something there.
After shutting, yes.
And you all know that the scores there are not all that sharp.
Yes, quite.
You know that their truancy and attendance rate is not all that good. Here are people from a community that have recognized this, and they're going to do it, and they went through an interrogation that I would suggest was probably not all that warranted. But I don't really know, because I don't know why you ask the questions you ask. And I'm not even asking why you ask the questions you
We are
ask.
going to proceed with the motion.
I'm just not interested. I just want to know that when people want to do something, let them do it. Let's see whether we can move this forward.
Let's
And
move
so
it.
that's the reason
Put it on
why
the
the
table.
committee votes the way it votes.
Matsumoto?
Mr. Chair, I move that the Board of Education approve Waianae High's SCBM exception number 1 to allow the school to create 4 staff development days by adjusting the school calendar beginning the second semester of the 1995-96 school year.
Second.
Moving to second that the board approve Waianae High School's SCBM exception number 1, which would allow the school to create 4 staff development days
Mr. Chair.
beginning the second semester of 1995-96 school year. Yes.
As the maker of the motion, can I speak to it first? I just like to have you look around and see the small number of board members who are here, and also take into consideration the effort that Waianae High School is making in order to improve their school and provide for the students in a better way. And please take that into consideration when you make your vote, and I ask that you vote in favor of the motion.
Mr. Sakurai?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to speak in favor of the motion. And maybe I can share a little insight into why I vote in favor of these type of, exceptions. I'm looking basically at what they want to accomplish. They have two goals that they are seeking to accomplish over these 4 days, and 6 outcomes which they hope to accomplish at the end of their staff development days. And this is part of the reason that why I'm in favor, because they have the goals, they have the outcomes, and what they want to achieve. And these are no different from the types of outcomes that have been asked for, looked forward to with other schools having staff development days. But hearing some of the concerns of the board members and some of the things that we've said tonight, I turned the page over and I saw that they might be requesting 8 staff development days for the 96-97 school year. And this is totally a separate issue that we will have to deal with when they make that request. But just to make the statement, I will back the school if they have a competent plan, if they have outcomes in which they want to achieve during those whatever future requests that they make. But it will be a hard fight for this board when we look at 8 staff development days. And I would hope that the board thinks similarly to how I am thinking, is that if there are outcomes that the school wants to achieve, let's give them the days and try to achieve those outcomes, and we'll see what the results will come out of that. But I think the message has to be sent out that we will be making those kind of, judgments and making those kind of requests, accepting those kind of requests if they are substantial outcomes that will help the student enrollment at the school. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Palmer?
I would like to speak in support of this recommendation. What I see here is a small group of concerned parents and students who are trying very hard to make a positive difference in their school community. They see a problem, they want to address that problem. The board we should be trying to help this effort, not inhibit it. I think it's extremely important that we give them this 4, even though it might seem like a lot. That's how many they need, that's how many they've decided they need. We should respect their ability to decide that for themselves, let them have it, and let them start the road to a better school and a better school community.
I urge my colleagues to support this. I've already made my statement.
Mrs. Knudsen?
I speak against the motion. I am impressed with what the school is trying to do. I know what Mrs. Famili, the leadership there is good. I do appreciate the intent. I cannot support 4 days this quarter, not semester, this quarter. I know I have a high school student, and I know every single day is precious for her to be at school. The minutes don't matter. She needs to be there interacting with the teachers, going to the library. The thought of having 4 days off, I know, would send panic to a number of students. Now, maybe, kids are different, but I know they need to be there. I am very conscious that our staff needs development time, but I am really focusing on the student. And I know in the long term, next year, whenever, the students will benefit from this. But right now, I think the students at YNI need to be in school. And I'm sorry I cannot support this, although I appreciate what you're trying to do, and my heart breaks because I can't support this. I want the students in school.
Dr. Compton?
I yield to...
Dr. Compton?
Oh, okay.
Get it while you can.
Okay. Geez, Karen, you just threw me in the quandary. I was all prepared to... I think the plan is an excellent one. I approve the goals. The 4 days is, ordinarily I would not even consider voting for it. The testimony, however, is very impressive, very moving. I wish someone would propose some sort of compromise in terms of 2 days. That would be much easier to support. I have very mixed emotions, and I am undecided as to which way I'm going to go, because I want to support them, but I do share Mrs. Knudsen's concern. I already expressed that. So I find this a very difficult situation to be in.
Okay. Dr. Fox.
Mr. Chairman, my opposition to the whole concept of waiver days is well known, and usually I spare this board much discussion. In fact, it's reached the point where I just sort of wave a negative hand and leave people alone. But in this instance, I am moved to speak against the motion a little bit more for a number of reasons. The issue to me is not an appeal to trusting the school. I do trust the school, or to trusting its motives. I do trust its motives. It's a number of things. Number one, I just think that this is, as I say, I've been against these in general, but I think that given the length of time between now and the end of the semester, the end of the semester, this is just too many days. I understand that the need is great. From my point of view, it's simply fulfilling a need which has been generating for a good number of years in too short a time span at the expense of the final semester for the seniors and the second semester for the juniors and so forth. I think that the problem will take longer to solve if they do a couple of days now and a couple of days next fall. I don't doubt that. It'll be less effective. But looked at as something which is at the expense of one group of students, this would divide that expense over a broader time frame and a broader group of students. So that's one reason that I find this particular number excessive. I assume that this might have been requested a while ago. Maybe if it were at the beginning of the second semester, which is one full quarter ago, this would be a little bit easier to take. The second comment, the second thing which moves me to be opposed to this is that we have been talking about this for some time, and despite comments from my colleagues, I believe that it is appropriate when members of the board or committees of the board have a sense of what the board thinks, either because there's a formal policy or a general sense, that they be guided by that. I have no objection to either individual members or committees who don't agree with that attempting to change